started with a dynamic warm-up. We're gonna go through 5 exercises. We'll demonstrate those for you, and then you can work through your 2 rounds. We're gonna start down on the ground, maybe lay out a towel or a blanket like we have here for a little bit of extra padding underneath your hands and knees. Shoulders are gonna stack directly over top of your wrists, hips are stacked directly over your knees, and go ahead and relax your feet so the tops of your shoes are facing towards the ground. From here, we're gonna start with a T-spine rotation. So keeping one hand planted firmly, core engaged just slightly, we're gonna bring fingertips to the ear, and then raise your elbow towards the ceiling, rotating through that thoracic spine, and then reaching that elbow back towards the floor. Go through this motion 5 times, again, focusing on rotating just through that upper half of your torso rather than rotating all the way through those hips. 10 total, 5 on each side. Staying in that same position, we're gonna go right into what's called a cat camel. So you are mimicking what those animals, I guess, look like, right? So we'll go ahead and start by arching through that back, making that hump by tucking your chin and then tucking those hips underneath. And then let's go back the opposite direction, crown of your head and tailbone to the ceiling, really mobilizing that spine, really warming up that torso for some of the work that we're gonna be doing later. 5 total here. And then we're gonna again stay in the same position, moving right into what we call the fire hydrant. This is really to help open up those hips. So we are going to draw a circle with our knee. External rotation would be to lift the knee to the outside first and then shoot that leg out behind you, then bringing your knee back underneath your hips. 5 that direction, and then you do wanna make it an internal rotation as well, just simply moving the opposite direction. 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. Now our next one is gonna be a dynamic runner's lunge. So we are gonna add an overhead side reach. In order to help with posture, maybe grab something that you have at home. We happen to have a ginormous spoon. So we're gonna have John hold that over top of his head. That way his shoulders are gonna stay in the right position, ears stacked over that shoulder, over that hip, and then his front foot is gonna come a little bit further than that 90-degree angle that you're used to seeing. This way he'll be able to make it dynamic by shifting forward, opening up through that hip flexor while he's leaning over to the side. And again, by holding on to whatever object it is, maybe it's a towel for you, you'll be able to make sure that you stay in alignment. 5 one direction, and then 5 on the opposite side. One more exercise, we're calling this the plank to an alternating ankle reach. Get into your high plank position, again, shoulders stacked directly over wrists, feet are shoulder width apart, tuck that core or those hips under to engage that core, and then lift through your hips, reaching your opposite hand towards that opposite ankle. You're simply gonna go as far as you can for your range of motion, moving back and forth for 10 total, 5 on each side. 2 full rounds, 5 exercises. Let's get that body primed for the work that you're about to do.
Yeah, I can feel it burning through like fire. I think when the world goes by, don't you think for a second that I won't be crying? 'Cause I swear that I'll be fine, will without you. Fight can easily die. Yes, I swear that it'll rise. Will without you. Resist when I light the fire. Today, for a second, think I won't keep quiet. 'Cause I will be fine. Will without you. I can feel it burning through like fire. Yeah, I can feel it burning through like fire.
Coach D, you ready to get your heart rate up?
I am.
We're going to do it with a 4-minute agility block here. So Coach D is an artist, and she painted this beautiful square. We use painter's tape, and we encourage you guys to as well. A nice square for this agility block. So it is Tabata style. That means 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest. We're going to alternate 2 exercises and do 4 total rounds of both exercises combined. First exercise is around the world. So both feet, Coach D is going to jump outside of the box to the front, back in, to the side, to the back, to the side. 20 seconds, making sure she takes off of and lands both feet. Option for all of these is to step and step back. Again, quick, rapid fire movements, getting that heart rate up. After 10 seconds of rest, we're going to move to in and outs. So we're going to jump the feet outside the box and back in, nice and quick, nice and explosive, minimal bend in the knee so that we can get that really fire movement. Option is to step apart and together. 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, 4 rounds of those 2 exercises. Let's do it.
You've got nothing to lose. It's time we take it. You know it's time we take it. Don't stop the move, just keep the groove. Go out and make it. Don't go and break it. Can't go out and fake it. Our worlds collide into the sky. It's time we take it. Can't go out and fake it. It's time we make it. Can't go out and fake it. It's time we make it. Can't go out and fake it. It's time we make it. Can't go out and fake it. It's time we make it. Can't
right, guys. So for this plank series, we're focusing on targeting those obliques. That's gonna help you with any rotational movements that you're gonna use powering through that everyday life. Vinny, ready?
Let's do it.
Yes. So we have 4 exercises, 30 seconds each for each exercise, totaling 6 minutes. So we're starting with that side plank rotation, making sure those hips are pressed up, engaging that core, you're rotating that elbow down towards the mat, and then coming right back up. Awesome. Option, drop down to the knee, still keeping those hips elevated. 30 seconds of this, and then we're gonna move right into a forearm plank. So on the forearms, those feet are hip width apart. You're thinking of drawing your belly button in towards your spine, keeping that neck nice and neutral. Option here, drop down to your knees. Moving right into our right side plank rotation, going back to that same set position. You're drawing that elbow down towards the mat, keeping those hips pressed up, and then coming back to that starting position. Option here, you can drop down to the knees. We have one more exercise in this plank series. So moving into that child's pose, bringing those toes together, making sure that your shoelaces are on the mat. You're gonna make sure those knees are nice and wide, sending those hips back and breathing through that. So 4 exercises, 30 seconds each, 6 minutes. Let's get to work.
I don't wanna waste a moment.
Don't waste no time.
I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they say.
I refuse not to live my life. All work and no play. I wanna feel alive.
Alive, alive.
We've been living just to die. Sound alive.
Alive, alive.
I think it's time we learn to fly. Sound alive. They want us chasing dollar signs.
Ay,
No end in sight.
come on.
We suffer just to make a time.
Yeah,
And that ain't right.
you know that ain't right.
We can turn it all around.
Yeah,
It's not too late.
never too late.
And now that the truth is found, we'll change our fate.
It's never too late.
I don't wanna waste a moment.
I don't wanna waste a moment.
I don't care what they say.
I don't care what they say.
I refuse not to live my life. All work and no play. I wanna feel alive.
Alive, alive.
We've been living just to die. Sound alive.
Alive, alive, alive.
I think it's time we learn to fly.
So alive.
Alive, alive, alive. Alive, alive, alive. Alive, alive, alive. Alive, alive, alive. I don't wanna waste a moment. I don't care what they say. I refuse not to live my life. All work and no play. I wanna be alive. We've been living just to die. Sound alive. I think it's time we learn to fly. Sound alive.
Just a little old fashioned, looking for a real connection. It's the bottom of the glass, and I'm running up for a second. I'm attracting, it's a night full of second chances. Second chances. Just a little more dancing, a little more taking chances. Just a little more glancing, a little more advancing. Just a little more dancing, a little more less for granted. Just a little more dancing, a little more dancing. Haven't found the one, and that's alright. Do it for the fun, and that's alright. Stay out till the sun, and that's alright. Knew it would lead to something. Knew it would lead to something. Lead to something. to see what love is to. It's true cliche, but that's cause it's the truth. No, I can't wait to get so close to you. Just a little more dancing, a little more taking chances. Just a little more glancing, a little more advancing. Just a little more dancing, a little more less for granted. Just a little more dancing, a little more dancing. Haven't found the one and that's alright. Do it for the fun and that's alright. Stay out till the sun and that's alright. Knew it would lead to something. Knew it would lead to something. Haven't found the one and that's alright. Do it for the fun and that's alright. Stay out till the sun and that's alright. Knew it would lead to something. Knew it would lead to something. Haven't found the one and that's alright. Do it for the fun and that's alright. Stay out till the sun and that's alright. Knew it would lead to something. Knew it would lead to something. Lead to something. Lead to something. Lead to something.
This mini tornado is going to leave you breathless. This is going to be more of a low impact one, but it's definitely going to be challenging. You're going to have 5 exercises. You're going to complete 1 minute of each. There's going to be 3 total rounds with 1 minute of rest in between. Here's where things get interesting. In round 1, you'll have 30 seconds of transition time between exercises. Round 2, 45 seconds. That final round, you'll have 1 minute between exercises. You ready to go, Dee? All right, we're going to start with 1 minute of a skier swing. Feet are hip width apart, chest nice and tall, pretending like you're on the slopes. You're going to kick back those hips, exploding those arms back, popping up into your standing position. Now, if you're not used to this movement, use the first round as an opportunity to focus on the movement, slow things down. Next up, we've got 1 minute of an alternating lateral lunge. Starting with our feet hip width apart, chest tall, we're going to step out to our side, heavy in the heel, letting the hamstrings do the work, driving yourself up to that starting position. Option here, reduce your range of motion on the lunge. Next up, we've got a deadlift floor tap. We're going to start feet a little bit wider than hip width, shoulders back. We're going to drop it like it's hot, popping the hips back, getting nice and low, making contact with the floor. An option here, reduce your range of motion on the squatting portion of the movement. Next up, we're going to take it down to a low plank. We have a low plank alternating knee tap. We're going to start with our elbow stacked underneath the shoulder, feet about hip width apart, belly button drawn to the spine to engage the core. We're going to alternate dropping each individual knee down to the ground, squeezing the glutes to keep the hips nice and square. An option here is you can bring it up to your hands into a high plank. Last but not least, we're going to flip it around. We're going to close it out with 1 minute of an alternating single leg V-up. We're going to start with the arms out in front, Frankenstein arms, raising that chest up off the ground, one leg up at a time, keeping that leg straight. Option here, you can always bend at the knee if you need to reduce the lever. So you have 5 total exercises, 1 minute of each, with more and more transition time in between. Get ready to be a little breathless.
keep pushing on, keep bettering myself. Beat every obstacle, I don't need no one's help. Cause I'm fighting for it, I'm working towards it, I'm aiming on the stars. And I didn't give up everything to only get this far. Can't stop me now. Yeah, yeah, cause I'm just beginning, can't stop me now. I'm gonna push past the limits. No way that I'm gonna let nobody try to take me down. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. You know I give my all every step of the way. You know that I won't quit till everyone knows my name. Cause I sacrificed for this, my blood, sweat, tears, my life for this. So I'm gonna show them all, I don't care what they say. Cause I'm fighting for it, I'm working towards it, I'm aiming on the stars. And I didn't give up everything to only get this far. Can't stop me now. Yeah, yeah, cause I'm just beginning, can't stop me now. I'm gonna push past the limits. No way that I'm gonna let nobody try to take me down. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Cause I'm fighting for it, I'm working towards it, I'm aiming on the stars. And I didn't give up everything to only get this far. Can't stop me now. Yeah, yeah, cause I'm just beginning, can't stop me now. I'm gonna push past the limits. No way that I'm gonna let nobody try to take me down. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. Can't stop me. never be easy. This world can be so cold. Lift up your bed and show they see you are not on your own. Together we are so gold. 'Cause we are the flaming souls. You're not burning the furnace. We are, we are, we are, we are. Too hot to take a hold. Just like the firecrackers. We are, we are, we are, we are. We are firecrackers. We are fire, fire,
You've worked hard to this point, but what's equally important is the flexibility block. With this one, primarily, we're gonna be working the posterior chain, those hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. Our focus here is to make sure that we reduce injury, especially hunching our shoulders over, hitting next episode on our favorite streaming service. We have 4 movements that we're gonna hold for 20 seconds each. Em, you ready to do this? Oh, yeah. All right, we're gonna start things off with our standing overhead side reach. We're gonna bring our arms overhead. We're gonna grab that wrist, nice deep breath, leaning to our left side to start off, working the lats and the obliques. As we get a little bit deeper into that stretch, each inhale on the exhalation, we're gonna see if we can get a millimeter further into that. Now, whatever range of motion is available to you, use that. Then we're gonna go ahead and switch sides. Nice deep breath, chest nice and tall. And let's come back to that starting position. Next up, we have our standing toe reach. Nice deep breath, feet together, shoulders back nice and proud. We're gonna hinge from the waist, keeping that chest nice and tall, reaching for those toes. Working primarily with our hamstrings, glutes, a little bit with the lower back here. Now, Emily has ridiculous flexibility. You may not have that available to you. So you can always go to the calves, maybe behind the knees. Again, whatever's available to you at that moment. Very nice. Let's go ahead, walk those hands out to a high plank. We're gonna get ourselves ready for a downward dog. We're gonna start from our high plank position, walk the hands back just a little bit, pressing through the hands, raising those glutes in the air. Legs are straight to really emphasize that stretch on the hamstrings. And for an added benefit on the calves, we're gonna add a running addition to it, alternating, bending each knee. Nice, slow, and controlled here. Last but not least, we have a runner's lunge with a rotation. We're gonna step one foot out nice and wide, dropping that back knee down to the ground. We're gonna bring both hands down to the inside of that right leg, pressing that elbow into the right knee. We're gonna reach up with our left hand, reaching for the sky. This is gonna work the thoracic spine, really making sure we keep it nice and safe. Holding it for 20 seconds, bringing it back down, and then switch sides. You have 4 exercises, 20-second hold for each. Go ahead and cool down. You've earned it.
All the way, I call the shots. I own this ball. Unafraid of who I am. Unafraid to be the best of everything I am. Unafraid to change the world, to touch the sky. Unafraid, unafraid, unafraid of who I am. My energy's on the rise. When I looked inwardly, I saw who I was. No temper fits my curves, and now I'm looking in straight to the heart. Told you as it is, I own this spot. If I fall or if I fail, I'll get up again. 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 Take me as I am. I own this spot. If I fall or if I fail, I'll get up again. Going all the way, I call the shots. I own this spot. Unafraid of who I am. Unafraid of who I am. Unafraid of who I am. Unafraid to be the best of everything I am. Unafraid running free.